The frontier space was vast and unyielding, a silent stretch of stars marking the boundary between human domains and the expansive, merciless alien empire known simply as the Dominion. This dark expanse had witnessed countless conflicts, skirmishes, and the slow, grinding advance of an empire whose name alone struck fear into the hearts of many. Among the sparse outposts patrolling this perilous border was the human vessel Resolute, a lone scout ship tasked with gathering intelligence and ensuring the safety of human colonies on the frontier. Captain Maya Carter commanded the Resolute with seasoned skill and quiet determination. Her experience was vast, her instincts razor-sharp. She had flown countless missions into hostile space, always pushing the limits to protect her people. Maya carried the weight of responsibility with steady resolve, knowing that even the smallest decisions could mean life or death for her crew and for the fragile frontier. Dr. Eli Vargas, the ship's astrophysicist and cultural analyst, was a man of quiet intellect and deep curiosity. His fascination with alien cultures and the mysteries of the cosmos fueled his commitment to the mission. Eli spent hours studying the patterns of the Dominion's movements, searching for clues in the silence between stars, and decoding subtle signals that others overlooked. His insights often provided the edge the Resolute needed to survive. Commander Zarkoth was the Dominion's answer to humanity's challenge, a warlord forged in countless battles, feared for his ruthless tactics and unyielding will. His fleet dominated vast regions, crushing resistance with brutal efficiency. To Zarkoth, the Resolute was just another insignificant human ship, a small annoyance easily eliminated. On what should have been a routine scouting mission, the Resolute traversed the border with practiced caution, but the vastness of space harbored hidden dangers. A sudden, catastrophic systems failure crippled the ship. Navigation controls faltered, engines sputtered, and the sensors blinked dark. The crew scrambled to diagnose the damage, but the Resolute was already drifting, pulled helplessly into enemy space. The silence aboard the Resolute was heavy with tension. Maya's voice was calm, but resolute as she addressed her crew. "We're not out of this yet. Stay sharp. We adapt, or we don't survive." Meanwhile, the Dominion's sensors detected the drifting ship almost immediately. Alarms blared on the bridge of Zarkoth's flagship as his officers scrambled to assess the unexpected intrusion. A human vessel, powerless and alone, the warlord mused, his voice cold and commanding. "An easy prize. Prepare the fleet. We will capture or destroy it swiftly." The Dominion's swift response was expected, but the Resolute's crew faced an overwhelming force. Communications attempts to signal peaceful intent were met with silence or hostile replies. The humans appeared vulnerable, stranded in enemy space, outnumbered and outgunned. Despite the peril, Maya's leadership shone. She rallied her crew, focusing on ingenuity and resilience. "We may be small, but we are not helpless. Use every advantage. Think beyond their expectations." Dr. Vargas worked feverishly, tapping into the ship's remaining systems, analyzing alien fleet patterns, and seeking any opening for escape or defense. His mind raced through possibilities. Old human tech, untested tactics, or a deep understanding of the Dominion's psychology. Tension aboard the Resolute was mirrored by unease within the Dominion ranks. Zarkoth was confident, but a flicker of doubt crossed his mind as the humans' calm defiance unsettled his officers. Could this lone ship be more than it appeared? As the Resolute drifted deeper into hostile space, the stakes became clear. Survival depended not just on firepower, but on wits, courage, and the unbreakable spirit of a crew determined to live. The galaxy watched silently, waiting to see if humanity's lone ship would be crushed or if its journey would mark the beginning of a new legend. The Resolute drifted deeper into the shadow of the Dominion's space, its systems flickering between life and death. Captain Maya Carter stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the star field ahead with unyielding focus. The hum of failing engines and the erratic pulse of the ship's power systems underscored the gravity of their plight. Every breath, every heartbeat was a reminder of their isolation. Their mission, once routine, had become a desperate struggle for survival. Dr. Eli Vargas worked tirelessly at the sensor array, attempting to piece together the alien fleet's formation. His fingers danced over the console as streams of data flowed in, fragmented and often obscured by the Dominion's advanced jamming techniques. "They're converging fast, Captain," he reported, voice tight with urgency. "Multiple capital ships, support fighters, too many for us to outrun or outgun in our current state." Maya's jaw clenched. "We need to buy time. Find any weaknesses, any blind spots." The ship's AI, a quiet but ever-present companion, whispered possibilities, maneuvers, shield reroutes, emergency protocols. But even the AI's calculations offered only slim chances. The Resolute was outmatched and outnumbered. Outside, the Dominion fleet loomed like a dark storm, imposing warships bristling with weapons and scanning beams. Commander Zarkoth observed from his command throne, his piercing gaze fixed on the flickering blip representing the helpless human vessel. "Prepare to intercept," he commanded. "No negotiations. The humans are an annoyance that must be eliminated before they inspire rebellion." Yet, amid his officers, murmurs of caution stirred. Some questioned the wisdom of underestimating humanity, warning that even a single ship could harbor unexpected dangers. But Zarkoth dismissed these fears, confident in the Dominion's overwhelming power. Back on the Resolute, tensions simmered among the crew. Communications officer Lila Tan attempted to send distress signals, only to face brutal interference. "Our messages keep getting blocked or distorted," she said grimly. "They don't want us calling for help." Maya nodded. "Then we fight smarter. Keep your channels open for any sign of friendly response, but prepare for the worst." In the engineering bay, Dr. Vargas collaborated with the ship's mechanics to reroute power, focusing energy on critical systems. "If we can restore even partial propulsion or weapon functionality, we might disrupt their formations long enough for reinforcements to arrive." Maya's mind raced with possibilities. The Resolute carried experimental stealth technology, prototype, systems designed to cloak the ship from sensors. If activated under the right conditions, they might slip through enemy lines. But the risk was enormous. Activating untested tech in battle could backfire catastrophically. The decision weighed heavily. To remain visible meant certain destruction. To engage unproven technology meant gambling everything on a fragile hope. "Do it," Maya ordered, voice steady. "We have no choice." As the stealth systems hummed to life, the ship's exterior shimmered, bending light and sensor waves. The Dominion fleet's scanners faltered, momentarily losing track of the Resolute. The alien commanders growled in frustration, redirecting their search. Yet the brief advantage was countered by unpredictable space phenomena, dense asteroid fields and fluctuating magnetic storms that disrupted the stealth systems and forced the Resolute to surface again, vulnerable and exposed. In the corridors, crew members exchanged anxious glances. Fear was a quiet companion, but so was determination. Maya's leadership inspired resilience. She moved among her people, offering reassurance, reminding them that humanity's strength was not in numbers or technology alone, but in courage and ingenuity. Outside, Zarkoth's fleet adapted quickly, deploying specialized hunter-killer drones designed to locate and eliminate stealth targets. The battlefield shifted into a deadly cat-and-mouse game, with the Resolute weaving through enemy fire and debris. A sudden jolt shook the ship as a plasma Beams struck the hull, sending alarms blaring. Power flickered, oxygen levels dropped in sections of the ship. The crew raced to contain damage and maintain vital functions. In the midst of crisis, Eli discovered an unexpected anomaly, a pattern in the Dominion's command signals, a subtle rhythm that suggested vulnerability in their communications. "Captain, their network has a blind spot when relaying commands to their drones. If we can exploit it, we might disrupt their coordination." Maya saw hope in his eyes and resolve in his voice. "Then we strike where they least expect." Coordinating with the AI, the crew initiated a cyber offensive, sending pulses designed to interfere with enemy signals. The Dominion's drones faltered, colliding or drifting into hazardous zones. The chaos provided precious seconds to maneuver and regroup, but the victory was bittersweet. The Resolute sustained heavy damage, life support faltered in critical sectors, and casualties mounted. Each loss was felt deeply, a reminder of the stakes. Meanwhile, Commander Jarkoth seethed with rage and disbelief, his confidence shaken. By the humans' unexpected tactics, he ordered an all-out assault, intending to overwhelm the Resolute with sheer firepower. As the final barrage loomed, Maya made a bold decision. Activating the ship's last resort systems, she prepared for a risky maneuver. A hyperspace jump near the enemy flagship aimed to disrupt their command structure and buy time. The jump was violent and disorienting, throwing the Resolute into the heart of the Dominion fleet's formation. Sensors flared, alarms screamed, but the ship's crew held fast. The shock to the Dominion systems was profound. Their fleet scrambled to respond, weapons firing wildly as the Resolute struck at critical nodes before slipping away into the void. Emerging from hyperspace, battered but alive, the crew's spirits soared. They had defied impossible odds. Their survival, a testament to human resilience, ingenuity, and unbreakable will, yet the journey was far from over. The Resolute was now a symbol of hope, defiance, and a new chapter in the struggle between humanity and the Dominion. Captain Maya. Carter knew that their story was just beginning, a tale that would echo across galaxies and inspire generations to come. The Resolute had escaped the Dominion's initial assault, but the battle was far from over. The warlord Jarkoth was not one to be easily thwarted. His pride stung, his commanders pressing for immediate retaliation. The Resolute was a thorn in his side, a single human ship that had somehow slipped through his iron grip, shaking the foundation of his empire's invincibility. Captain Maya Carter surveyed the damage aboard her vessel. Systems flickered, life support struggled, and supplies were stretched thin. Yet amidst the wreckage, a fierce resolve burned in her heart. The crew looked to her not just for orders, but for hope. She could not let them down. Dr. Eli Vargas pored over sensor readings, searching desperately for any clue that might give them an edge. His mind churned with possibilities. Aliens were intelligent, yes, but patterns emerged even in chaos. If the Dominion was to be outmaneuvered, it would be through knowledge and cunning. Across the void, Jarkoth convened his war council. His commanders debated fiercely. Some urged overwhelming force, others recommended tightening the noose and waiting for the Resolute to make a fatal mistake. But the warlord's mind was set. He would crush the humans and erase their defiance. Meanwhile, the Resolute crew struggled against mounting challenges. Communications remained erratic. Their messages to Earth were fragmented and delayed. Reinforcements were uncertain. The crew's spirits, though battered, held firm under Maya's leadership. Internal tensions surfaced. The pressure of near-certain death frayed nerves. Some questioned Maya's decisions, others wrestled with fear of the unknown. In quiet moments, the captain faced her own doubts but steeled herself. Leadership was not about certainty, but about guiding others through the storm. Eli's breakthrough came unexpectedly. He detected subtle shifts in the Dominion sensor patterns. weaknesses born of their overconfidence and rigid command structure. He shared his findings with Maya, who saw an opportunity, using the Resolute's limited stealth systems and Eli's insights. They devised a plan to exploit the Dominion's blind spots. Small teams would undertake risky reconnaissance, drawing enemy fire and revealing vulnerabilities. One such mission, led by Lieutenant Kara Singh, became a turning point. Her squadron lured a Dominion patrol into a trap, inflicting damage and capturing valuable data. The victory, though small, ignited renewed hope across the crew. Back on the Dominion flagship, Zarkoth's patience wore thin. The human's resilience was unexpected. He ordered a series of brutal raids on nearby human outposts, intending to force the Resolute into a desperate defense. The Resolute intercepted distress calls from these outposts, families and soldiers. Under siege, Maya faced agonizing choices: protect the ship and crew or risk everything to aid the scattered colonies. Her command weighed heavily, each decision carrying life and death consequences. Amid the chaos, a trusted engineer, Marcus, uncovered evidence of sabotage aboard the Resolute. Someone within the crew was leaking information to the Dominion. The betrayal cut deep, shaking trust and threatening to unravel their fragile unity. Maya confronted the traitor privately, wrestling with the pain of betrayal and the need for justice. The traitor, motivated by fear and promises of safety, confessed and was confined. The incident served as a harsh reminder of the war's psychological toll. Alien defectors within the Dominion ranks began to reach out discreetly, offering intelligence and aid. Their motives were mixed, some driven by conscience, others by political ambitions, but their contributions proved invaluable. Space battles erupted in the dark between stars. The Resolute and its allies engaged Dominion squadrons in skirmishes, marked by cunning maneuvers and desperate bravery. Each victory was narrow, each defeat devastating. Maya and Eli's partnership deepened, blending tactical acumen with scientific insight. Together, they developed adaptive countermeasures, blending human creativity with alien tech scavenged from the battlefield. Their innovations kept the Resolute one step ahead. As the conflict intensified, the crew's bonds strengthened. Shared hardship forged loyalty and sparked hope. Moments of levity and quiet reflection punctuated the tension. Laughter in the mess hall, whispered conversations about home, dreams of peace. Yet the war's shadow loomed. The Dominion prepared a massive strike fleet intent on ending the conflict. Decisively, Maya knew their time was running out. The coming battle would test everything: skill, courage, and the unyielding human spirit. In the final hours before the assault, Maya gathered her crew. Her voice was steady, resolute. "We stand for more than survival. We stand for every voice silenced by fear, for every dream that refuses to die. We fight not because we must, but because we choose to be free." The crew answered with a fierce roar, their unity a force stronger than any weapon. The Resolute surged forward, ready to face the storm. The rising conflict was not merely a battle for territory or pride, it was a testament to humanity's unbreakable will to endure, adapt, and rise against overwhelming odds. The final confrontation unfolded beneath a sprawling nebula, where swirling clouds of cosmic dust painted the void in ethereal hues of violet and gold. The Resolute drifted into position, battered but unbowed, facing the heart of the Dominion fleet. Commander Maya Carter's grip tightened on the helm as the alien warlord Zarkoth's imposing flagship materialized through the mist. A towering monolith of steel and menace, bristling with weapons that could obliterate worlds. Around them, the Dominion's armada coalesced like a living beast, its countless vessels arrayed in calculated formation, a wave of death ready to crash upon humanity's last hope. The odds were staggering, outnumbered and outgunned, but Maya's eyes burned with defiant fire. This was the moment where fate would be forged. Dr. Eli Vargas monitored the Resolute systems, his fingers flying over consoles as he calibrated weapons and adjusted shields. Beside him, the ship's AI, once a simple machine, now spoke with a measured consciousness, offering strategies that bent the rules of conventional warfare. It whispered possibilities born of ancient human ingenuity and alien technology melded. In desperate innovation, Captain, Eli said, voice tight, their communications grid is vulnerable. If we can disrupt it, their fleet will lose coordination. It's our best chance. Maya nodded. Then we make it happen. Mara, prepare. The strike team for a deep infiltration. We hit them where it hurts. The tension on the bridge was electric. Crew members checked and rechecked their stations, aware that this battle was a crucible that would define their lives and the future of their species. As the Resolute surged forward, the first volleys erupted. Plasma beams sliced through the nebula, lighting the darkness with deadly precision. Human fighters danced between enemy fire, exploiting gaps with agility born of necessity. Mara's squadron darted into the heart of the Dominion fleet, a spearhead aiming for the core. Zarkoth's forces responded with brutal efficiency. Biomechanical warriors, hulking beasts of flesh and metal, descended upon the Resolutes. Escort, tearing ships apart with claw and cannon. The warlord himself monitored the battle from his throne room, eyes cold and calculating, dismissing humanity's resistance as futile. But Maya was relentless. With each tactic, each maneuver, the Resolute chipped away at the Dominion's defenses. The ship's AI guided them through dangerous spatial anomalies, turning environmental hazards into weapons. Eli's adaptations made the Resolute a ghost, phasing through attacks, striking unexpectedly. Amid the chaos, Mara led a daring boarding party onto Zarkoth's flagship. Clad in armor enhanced by alien technology, the humans fought through corridors drenched in alien blood and fire. The captain confronted the warlord in a chamber. Pulsating with dark energy, their clash, a violent ballet of strength and will. "Your arrogance blinds you, Zarkoth," Maya declared, her voice steady despite the fury of combat. "You thought us weak, easy prey. But humanity's spirit burns brighter than your empire ever imagined." The battle raged, the outcome uncertain. As they fought, Eli remotely disabled the flagship's communication array, fracturing the Dominion fleet's cohesion. Confusion rippled through the enemy lines like wildfire. Back on the Resolute, the crew exploited the chaos, pushing their battered vessel to the limits. Power surged, weapons roared, and shields flared as they held their ground against overwhelming odds. In a final, desperate gambit, Zarkoth unleashed an ancient weapon, a collapsing singularity device designed to annihilate everything within kilometers. Maya's quick thinking and the AI's calculations identified a narrow window to counter it. "Evasive maneuvers now," she commanded. The Resolute twisted through space-time distortions, threading a needle through destruction itself. The singularity detonated behind them, a cosmic explosion that reshaped the stars. The shockwave shattered ships, tore apart fleets, but the Resolute emerged, battered but intact. In the warlord's chamber, Maya delivered a decisive strike. Zarkoth fell, defeated not only by force, but by the indomitable will of a species. Underestimated and scorned, as the flagship systems crashed, the Dominion fleet surrendered, their pride broken by a human crew's courage and cunning. The galaxy stood stunned, witnessing a turning point that would echo through the ages. Lila's name, though absent here, had inspired the resistance, the child whose innocence had sparked a galactic awakening. The story of a single ship that refused to die, lighting a beacon of hope for all humanity. The Resolute limped away from the battlefield, carrying survivors and stories etched in sacrifice. Maya stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on distant stars, knowing the victory was hard-earned. But not the end. The war had changed them all. And now, humanity's place among the stars was no longer a question of survival, but of destiny. The battle's thunder had faded, leaving behind a haunting silence that stretched across the void where the Dominion's fleet once ruled unchallenged. The Resolute, though battered and scarred, drifted steadily toward human space, its crew weary but unbroken. The victory was monumental, a testament not only to their courage, but to the unyielding spirit that had carried humanity from the edge of oblivion to the brink of a new era. Yet the cost was steep and the future uncertain. Captain Maya Carter stood at the helm, her eyes scanning the star-studded expanse beyond the viewport. Every scar on the ship's hull told a story of sacrifice, every flicker of a dying system a reminder of the battle's ferocity. She felt the weight of command more heavily than ever, knowing that the true challenge was only just beginning. Dr. Eli Vargas worked alongside engineers in the aft section, orchestrating repairs and salvaging alien technology gleaned from the shattered Dominion vessels. His mind was alive with possibilities. The fusion of human innovation and alien science held promise to propel their civilization forward. But Eli also understood the delicate balance between harnessing power and respecting the unknown, a lesson carved into his soul by the war's harsh realities. The crew moved with quiet determination. Medics tended to the wounded, voices soft yet resolute. Engineers labored tirelessly, their hands steady despite exhaustion. Pilots ran diagnostics, preparing the Resolute for the journey home and the uncertain path ahead. In every corner of the ship, a shared purpose bound them together, a promise that their sacrifices were not in vain. News of the Dominion's defeat rippled through human colonies and stations. Radio transmissions buzzed with disbelief and jubilation. Communities, once fearful, now celebrated their protectors. The tale of the lone ship that had defied an empire ignited hope, rekindling a collective belief in humanity's strength and resilience. Yet, as the Resolute neared its destination, questions emerged. What had caused the Dominion's sudden collapse? Would the shattered empire retaliate? Could peace endure after such devastation? These questions lingered, shadows at the edges of triumph. Ambassador Valen, who had traveled aboard the Resolute as a liaison, prepared for delicate negotiations. The Galactic Council convened to address the power vacuum left by the Dominion's fall and the rise of humanity as a new force. Valen's role was fraught with complexity, balancing justice with diplomacy, vengeance with reconciliation. On New Dawn, the home colony that had endured so much, life stirred with cautious optimism. Rebuilding efforts accelerated, aided by technologies salvaged and improved upon. Families reunited, and cultural expressions flourished, celebrating survival and the dawn of a hopeful future. Lila Moreno, now a symbol of innocence preserved and futures secured, was remembered in stories, songs, and memorials. Her impact transcended her years, reminding all that even the smallest spark could ignite a blaze that changed the galaxy. But not all wounds had healed. Survivors grappled with loss, trauma, and the lingering scars of betrayal. The crew of the Resolute found solace in each other, sharing stories and silences, understanding that healing was a journey as profound as any battle. Maya reflected on the paradox of their victory. Strength had won the day, but it was compassion, unity, and the refusal to surrender hope that had truly saved them. The war had tested humanity's limits, but it had also revealed the boundless depths of courage and love. The Resolute itself became a moving monument, a vessel of memory and progress, carrying the legacy of those who fought and those who dreamed of a better tomorrow. Plans were laid for its refit and return to duty, not as a lone scout, but as the flagship of a burgeoning fleet. In distant systems, new allies emerged. Former Dominion dissidents and other species, inspired by humanity's stand, sought cooperation and peace. The galaxy began to knit itself into a tapestry of shared goals and tentative friendships, yet vigilance remained. New threats loomed on the horizon, enigmatic signals from deep space, unknown civilizations watching closely, and the enduring challenge of maintaining harmony amid diversity. The story of humanity was still unfolding, a beacon in the cosmic night. Captain Maya and Dr. Eli stood together on the observation deck, gazing out at the stars that had witnessed their trials and triumphs. They spoke not just as leaders and scientists, but as part of a living saga that connected past, present, and future. Their journey was far from over. The war had ended, but the voyage through the stars, the quest for knowledge, peace, and understanding, continued. The Resolute's tale was a testament to the human spirit, relentless, inventive, and fiercely alive. As the ship sailed toward home, a new chapter began, one written by those who dared to stand, to fight, and to hope against all odds. The stars stretched infinitely ahead, a vast canvas dotted with the distant fires of countless suns, each holding worlds unknown and stories yet to be told. The Resolute, once a lone scout drifting helplessly through enemy space, now sailed as a symbol, scarred but unbroken, through the cosmic ocean. Captain Maya Carter stood quietly on the observation deck, her gaze fixed on the shimmering lights beyond the ship's reinforced glass. The battle was over, but the journey was far from complete. Around her, the hum of the ship was steady, a comforting reminder that life, fragile and persistent, endured. The crew moved with purpose, rebuilding, repairing, and preparing for what lay ahead. Their voices, once tense with fear and urgency, now held the cadence of cautious hope. Among them were heroes and survivors, burdened with memories of loss, but buoyed by the promise of renewal. Maya's mind wandered back to the moments that had defined them, the relentless assaults, the narrow escapes, the courage of a child who had become a beacon. Lila Moreno's spirit echoed through the corridors, a quiet flame that had ignited a revolution of will. Maya knew that humanity's victory was more than a military success. It was a triumph of resilience and unity in the face of overwhelming darkness. Dr. Eli Vargas joined her silently, his eyes reflecting the distant stars. "We change the course of history," he said softly, "but with change comes responsibility." Maya nodded. "We hold the future now, not just for ourselves, but for every voice that struggles to be heard in this vast galaxy." Their reflections were interrupted by the ship's AI, its voice calm and steady. "Captain, new signals detected from the outer rim. Unknown origin." A ripple of anticipation passed between them. The universe was vast, its mysteries infinite. The Resolute had faced darkness and emerged victorious, but the cosmos was a frontier of endless challenges and wonders. In the aftermath of the war, humanity's place in the galactic order was being reshaped. The once dominant Dominion was fractured, its power diminished, creating a vacuum filled by new alliances and cautious diplomacy. Ambassador Valen worked tirelessly, weaving fragile threads of trust among species once at odds, striving to build a tapestry of peace from the remnants of conflict. On New Dawn and other human colonies, life blossomed anew. Cities rose from ruins, education flourished, and art celebrated the enduring spirit of a species that had refused to be extinguished. Memories of war became lessons etched into culture, fueling a collective commitment to a future where such darkness might never return. Yet shadows lingered. The scars of battle ran deep, haunting survivors and shaping a new consciousness. Psychological wounds were tended with care, and efforts to understand the cost of war extended beyond the physical. Healing became a journey as vital as any quest. Through the stars, Lila's story was told in many voices, songs, books, and digital archives. Her innocence, shattered and preserved, became a symbol of hope's fragility and strength. Children born in peace knew her name, inspired by the courage of one who had stood as a light amid the void. Technology advanced rapidly, fueled by the fusion of human creativity and alien discoveries. New propulsion systems promised faster journeys. Between stars, medicine cured old wounds and extended life. Artificial intelligences evolved, becoming partners rather than tools, bridging the divide between synthetic and organic consciousness. The Resolute itself was reborn, transformed from a battered scout into a flagship of exploration and defense. Its crew grew, welcoming new generations inspired by the legacy of those who had fought and those who had dreamed. As humanity reached deeper into the unknown, the lessons of the past remained a compass. Strength without compassion, power without wisdom, was a path to ruin. Maya and Eli, alongside their companions, carried this knowledge as they charted new courses toward discovery, understanding, and perhaps one day, unity among the stars. The universe watched. Other civilizations took note of humanity's rise, not as a threat to be crushed, but as a force to be reckoned with, and possibly a friend to be found. In quiet moments, Maya thought of the child who had changed everything. Lila's whispered hope echoed in her heart, a reminder that even in the darkest times, the smallest light could alter the course of galaxies. The journey continued. The story was far from over, and with every star that shimmered against the black velvet sky, humanity sailed onward, undaunted, united, and forever reaching for the infinite horizon. The galaxy had shifted beneath humanity's feet, and the reverberations of the Resolute's daring survival rippled outward in ways no one could have anticipated. News of the lone human ship's defiance against the Dominion's vast fleet spread quickly through the interstellar web of communication. Across distant systems, alien worlds buzzed with speculation and awe. Whispers of a species once dismissed as primitive, now capable of feats once thought impossible. Captain Maya Carter stood among her crew, feeling the profound weight of their journey. She saw in their eyes not just exhaustion, but a spark, an ember of hope rekindled by survival and victory. Their trials had forged bonds stronger than steel, connecting them in ways deeper than simple duty. In quiet moments, she caught herself smiling at their resilience, at the unspoken promise that this was only the beginning. Dr. Eli Vargas continued his work, now with renewed vigor, the alien technologies salvaged from the Dominion's shattered. Fleet held secrets waiting to be unlocked, secrets that could propel humanity into an age of unprecedented advancement. Yet with every breakthrough, Eli reminded his colleagues of the delicate balance they walked. Power untempered by wisdom could just as easily sow destruction as salvation. Amidst the celebrations and rebuilding, Maya found time for reflection. The faces of those lost haunted her, the brave souls who had given everything to keep humanity's flame alive. Memorials were erected aboard the Resolute and across colonies, honoring their sacrifice and reminding all who came after of the cost of freedom. The Galactic Council convened, its chambers alive with heated debate and cautious optimism. Ambassador Valen spoke eloquently for peace, urging former enemies to embrace collaboration over conflict. His efforts slowly bore fruit as alliances formed, tentative yet promising. The fractured remnants of the Dominion's empire began to reconsider their aggressive stance, their leaders wary of a humanity transformed, but peace was fragile. New threats emerged from the dark recesses of space, rogue factions, mysterious phenomena, and civilizations whose intentions remained unclear. Humanity's victory had drawn attention, and with it, envy and suspicion. The frontier was no longer a quiet edge, but a stage for complex diplomacy and vigilant defense. Within this turbulent era, the Resolute and her crew took on new missions, exploring uncharted systems, studying alien life forms, and mediating disputes born from centuries of isolation. Maya's leadership evolved from war commander to visionary pioneer, guiding humanity's transition from survival to stewardship of a broader cosmic community. Technology flourished. Advanced propulsion systems shrank distances between stars. Medical innovations extended lifespans and healed wounds once deemed fatal. Artificial intelligences, once tools, became trusted companions, their evolving consciousness bridging the gap between organic life and machine. Cultural exchange blossomed alongside scientific discovery. Humans and aliens shared art, music, philosophies, each learning from the other's perspectives and histories. Maya often marveled at how a spark of conflict had ignited a renaissance of understanding, transforming enemies into allies and rivals into friends. Yet the memory of the Dominion's ruthlessness remained a cautionary tale. Maya instilled in her crew and successors the importance of vigilance and empathy. Strength without compassion is a hollow victory, she would say, her voice carrying the wisdom born of battle and loss. The story of Lila Moreno, the child whose innocence had symbolized humanity's hope, was woven into the cultural fabric of countless worlds. Her legacy inspired generations to cherish peace and to fight fiercely for it when threatened. Statues, poems, and songs celebrated her spirit, a testament to the power of even the smallest lives to shape the cosmos. As new explorers ventured farther, the mysteries of the universe beckoned. Unknown civilizations awaited discovery. Cosmic phenomena challenged understanding. Humanity stood at the threshold of an era defined not by conquest, but by curiosity and connection. Captain Maya Carter and Dr. Eli Vargas, now mentors and ambassadors, watched these developments with pride and humility. They knew that the journey would never truly end, that the stars held infinite challenges and wonders, and humanity's role was to navigate them with courage and grace. In the quiet moments aboard the Resolute, as it sailed beneath the glittering tapestry of stars, Maya often gazed upward, feeling the enduring pulse of the universe. She thought of the child who had changed everything, of the crew who had stood unyielding, and of the future yet to be written. The galaxy was vast and unpredictable, but humanity's spirit was indomitable, ever reaching, ever striving, ever hopeful. And so the tale continued, a story not of endings, but of endless beginnings beneath the stars.